Welcome to step number 3 along the practical path, a podcast for personal and spiritual growth. Along the journey today, expect to discover how we get signs from friends and the universe. Time traveling, no magical machine required. And conspiracy theories you have about yourself. Now, let's get started on today's path. Hello and welcome to The Practical Path, a podcast for personal and spiritual growth. I'm Bill Sklodowski, that's Vicki Wagoner, and welcome to episode number 3. Good morning, how are you?
Good morning, I'm great. How are you?
Well, you and I, just before the recording started, you know who, the Miss Alexa, I never like to say it too loud because she's always listening, was just telling us that I'm under a tornado advisory or a watch until 5 o'clock this afternoon as we record this.
Yep, living in Florida, I remember those very well.
So, and I don't normally get that in Gainesville. Of course, when you were down on the coast, you know, you were in Naples, I was in Fort Myers for many years. We used to have that all the time.
Yeah.
So, kind of keeping an eye on the weather as we go this morning. So,
well, if you hear some rumbling, run to the bathroom and close the door.
Right? I'll let you know.
Yes.
Now, I will hear some rumbling because it just so happens that today is also lawn maintenance day at my apartment, and they're hard at work outside. But in the past, I've recorded stuff while they've buzzed by, and it's not an issue. But if it gets bad, we'll pause the recording. But anyway, that's fine.
That sounds
so how
good.
are you?
How am I? I'm doing good. As you know, my shoulder is still in recuperation mode.
Recovery mode, yes.
Yeah, getting around a little bit better, but thank you.
Okay. All right.
So what's with you?
The same, really. I'm not recovering from shoulder surgery, but I'm getting around and slowly and doing my thing and all of that. And as we record this, of course, people listen whenever they listen, but as we record this, it is the week after the Easter holiday in the United States. And
yes,
I was with a small group of friends where I live here in Gainesville, we have a senior singles group. So it's old people who would otherwise be with nobody on the holiday. And honestly, I don't care. I mean, I'm okay being alone, but they invited me, so we went and had a nice dinner, and one of them we had everything. So totally blew the diet out of the water for one day, and I'm okay with that. So.
Oh, that's good. That's good to do. We were home. We didn't do too much, just walked the dog a few times, and that was our Easter.
Oh, there you go. There you go. All right. So no Easter rabbits, no Easter bears in your neighborhood, no nothing like that.
Well, no, the bears. Well, yeah, there was a bear because we could tell by people's trash there was a bear, but we haven't seen one in a while. So living in the mountains of Georgia,
I know, right?
Bears and. We have cougars and fox and all sorts of critters coming through our yard. So
all the times I've been to northern Georgia to visit you and your husband there and all that, I've not seen anything. Well, I shouldn't say anything big. I've seen a lot of deer, tons.
A lot of deer. Yeah.
Oh my goodness. But
we had 9 of them. Yeah, 9 of them. 9 ran through the backyard yesterday. It sounded like a stampede. It was so loud. The fun things.
Yes. And you and I have talked about this in the past. Well, here we go. So here's a good jumping off point. You and I have talked about this in the past because we both lived near the beach in Southwest Florida many, many, many years ago. And at that time, people would go to the beach. It wasn't like a mission when they went to the beach, but it was kind of like a bonus in Southwest Florida where you would see a dolphin pass by.
Oh, yes.
And that was always so cool, so exciting. And, it was like, wow, look at nature and all that. Mm-hmm. And I've heard you say in the past, and I don't know if you still believe it, but you always have said that deer are like dolphins in the woods.
Oh, yeah. They're everywhere.
They're like a sign of nature and a sign of coolness and a sign of all of that sort of thing.
Yes,
yeah.
Absolutely.
Right.
Yep.
Are you one of those kinds of people? And I already know the answer to this, but I'll let you talk about it.
Okay.
Are you like one of those people that it's like when you see that sort of thing? I mean, do you pause for a minute and go, "Ooh, that's cool. I wonder if there's like a message there or any kind of meaning for that or whatever." Because I know a lot of people in our community, let's say,
Hmm.
they get, they think of those things. And we've talked about this on the show in the past about, there's little signs and
Oh,
signs and messages that come from the universe, angels, whatever you choose to believe.
yeah,
But yeah,
everywhere. It's
right,
everywhere in everything. I
right.
definitely believe in that. Yes. Yeah.
And so is it like if, like you said, you heard your, stampede of deer in the
Yeah.
backyard the other, did you go pause for a minute and go, I wonder what that, or does something just come to you? How does that work for you?
Sometimes it's more of, okay, what's the message? What they trying to tell me? Is it time to keep, just keep moving forward? Because right now, with not being really able to do too much, it kind of gets me down a little bit, And so I'm like, okay, what can I do? Do I want to stay down? Or they're telling me, okay, take, move things into action. You can still do other things. So that's the way I looked at it. And being in big numbers, it's like, okay, this is a big message. So, get off your pity party pillow and start doing something.
And interesting you say that. That's one of the notes that you've mentioned, the pity party thing. Maybe we'll talk
Yeah.
about that a little bit later on. But yeah, that's so I guess, not I guess, I'm making the statement that for those who are open to that sort of thing, there's
Mhm.
little hints, little just sometimes subtle, sometimes not so subtle,
Oh, yeah.
little hints of things for you. Now, well, I guess then the question is, are we just making that stuff up, or is it, or how does that, how does that? Obviously, you're not making up a herd of deer stampeding through your backyard, but and we've talked about this on last episode. We talked about how you get to decide what stuff means to you.
Yes.
So you could, I mean, I don't know where I'm going with that. I was just kind of curious to hear how you arrive at the message that you arrive at when something does show up in your life.
Well, I just trust that everything in nature, everything in the universe is here to teach us to learn, to grow, to evolve, to be the best person, that we can be, the best version of ourselves. If you believe in it, which I do very much, 100%, I find that there's a message in absolutely everything. It's your
Mhm.
comfort zone. It's the way that you were raised. It's how you want to live your life, And if you don't, that's okay. That's, what's good for you. So for me, I just see everything is trying to get our attention, to support us, to encourage us, to inspire us, to go, hey, here's a sign, like there is, okay, here's your sign. And
Right.
it's up to you. What are you going to do with it? They're
Right.
offering it, they've delivered it, they've done their job. Now it's up to you. What do you want to do with it? You can act on it or ignore it. It's up to that person. I never, tell anybody, oh, you've got to do this a certain way. I kind of more open them to, have you kind of looked at this? Have you kind of thought about it when you saw this or when this happened to you? What was your feeling? How did you react? Or was there any reaction to it? So it's up to the individual.
Right.
Yet that's my belief.
Right. And right, we're not here. Please remember, folks, we're not here to impose our belief system on anybody.
Oh, no, no.
We're just kind of, I don't know, offering a little practical advice on how you might want to choose to think of something. If you're
Yeah.
if you're having a challenge or whatever, it's like, have you thought about it? As Vicki says, have you looked at it from the 40,000 foot view? Have you taken a bigger perspective on things? Whatever. Yes.
Yeah.
So
And hopefully that will inspire people to maybe look at things a little differently.
right.
And they, hopefully they're enjoying our chit chat conversation and the things that I know. I never proclaim to, know everything, but I do love to share what I feel comfortable and what inspires me and what's my passion. This is my passion, is to inspire other people to be the best that they deserve to be, because we're little and we grow up with these adult people's opinions until we get to a point and we go, wait a minute, I'm an adult now. Does that still work for me? Or Am I looking at to bigger pictures or something from a different perspective? Like you say, the messages that are all around us.
Mhm.
So, and I feel that's by our choice as we get to this point of going, okay, what is best for me, that we make those decisions.
Right, because as we've said, and it's true that some people, that the realization that you can make your own decision dawns on people at different times in their
Oh, yeah.
lives. For
Yep.
some people, it might be when they're, I don't know, 16, 17, 18 years old, maybe. I don't know. For some people, it's not until they're 50 or 60 years old.
Yeah. Yes.
And a friend of mine, another friend of mine once said, you never really, and this was their opinion, and I don't know if I believe it or not, but I'll share it. That they said that you never really become a full-fledged on your own adult until both parents are gone. That
Yeah.
you're it now.
Yeah.
And I do remember having that feeling when my mother passed. I mean, it's been
Mm.
10 years now, but uh, my father was before that, and then my mother, 7 or 8 years ago. And I'm like, well, I'm it.
Yep.
I am the senior member of this family now.
Hmm.
And not that I needed the seniority, but there was nobody that I was going to, have. And I don't know if look up to is the right word or not, but, there's that kind of relationship there that it's like, well, you still got your mother, you still got your father, whatever. And then when you don't, now things are a little different
Yeah.
mentally, spiritually, whatever they are. So, yeah, I guess the point of that, if there is a point, is that you really, though, can make that decision at any time. You can really decide, okay, now I get to make my own decisions on my life and how I want to live it. And what, most importantly, I think what I believe about it, because
Yes.
we talked about that a little bit. We keep going back to like last week. But we covered a lot of ground, and I love that
Yes.
we're covering all of this stuff. You get to decide what you think, believe, feel about just about damn near anything that happens in your life.
Yes. And it's okay to
Mm-hmm.
question things that you were brought up with. If it's, if it's coming up into your awareness, maybe it's time to look at it from that different perspective. And I know I say that a lot, yet that's how I feel. Looking at it, does it still fit for me? Or is this something that, my parents had ingrained in them that they passed on? So there's that option. And if it still works for you, that's great. Yet, if there's an opportunity to maybe shift it a little bit or, shine it up a little bit, or maybe even let it go, that's okay
Right,
too.
right, right. Do you get a lot of in your practice when you work with people? Do you get though a lot of pushback from people that it's like the oldest ugliest line ever? But I've always done it this way.
Oh, yes.
Oh yeah,
And I often say, so how's it working for you?
right, right,
If it's still working and you believe in it and it's comfortable, go for it. If you're questioning it, you got to question, why are you questioning it? Obviously, there's something that is poking you, going, maybe it's time to, look at something different. Maybe try something differently. You've always wanted to do this. What if you just kind of jumped and went for it?
right. And
So,
that's the scary part. I mean, that's the part
oh
I
yeah.
think that you are there to help somebody with.
Oh yeah. So going back to being little kids, we it's almost like things get ingrained and we just follow it and follow it. And then something comes up and shakes you up a little bit. So you can, like I said, you can keep that uncomfortable comfort zone that you've got, or use it as an opportunity to move forward and maybe explore, or, put your feet in the water because you've always wanted to. So just put your toes in the water a little bit. And if it feels good, go up to your knees. And if it feels good, dive in.
Right, right.
Yeah. No, I've had
Yeah,
a
no,
lot.
I get that. I get that. And
Yeah.
to me, that's your gift. One of your top methods of helping people is literally just that, to say, all right, you're doing this thing. One of the spiritual gurus out there, who is that? Esther Hicks, that always says that thing you're doing. Yeah, stop doing that thing you're doing. Um, uh,
Yes.
but same thing. It's like, okay, we both see this thing you're doing. And like you said, and I don't, I think Dr. Phil does this, and I'm not a Dr. Phil fan, but I do love when he always does. He says the same thing. How's that working out for y'all? With his Texas drawl there. So yeah, I get it. And then now comes the moment of decision. Now comes that moment of I can keep doing that thing, and maybe I'm even comfortable doing that thing, but maybe not. And now, like you said, toes in the water time. And hopefully there's no sharks or barracuda or anything like that. I always used to tell, and I remember writing a blog post or doing a video a long time ago that just said, change is hard, so don't do it. But try it. But I know. I got your attention.
Yeah,
that's the whole point of a blog.
My head turned.
That's the whole point of a video. You see these videos on YouTube, and they have the stupidest, craziest, and the term is clickbait. They get you to watch because they say something crazy. So Bill says, change is hard, don't do it. Oh, by the way, but you might want to try it. Just experiment. Just think, I'm not going to really do this. I'm just going to try the ham and pineapple on the pizza and see if I like it, And if I don't, fine, I go back to pepperoni. But who knows?
Absolutely.
Who knows? Right. So, yeah.
Well, and that's all about choices. What do you choose to do and what feels right for you? And if it feels good, go for it. If it doesn't, or you have some hesitation, try a little bit of it. And if it still doesn't feel good, fine, just walk away from it.
Right.
You got to look at how many times do you reflect and go, I wish I had,
that's good. Talk more about that. I wish.
Yeah. I wish I would have taken that opportunity when somebody said, oh, let's go on a trip. But I'm saying, well, I don't have enough money, or I don't have the time, or this or that. But you got to sometimes you just got to take that leap of faith and go, what the heck? Let's just see what happens. Within reason. I know that, I'm not going to jump out of an airplane and, with a parachute on my back. I'm
never doing that. I am never, ever doing that. Why would anybody jump out of a perfectly good airplane?
No, it's a perfectly good airplane.
Come on.
But yet how many opportunities do you reflect on and say, geez, I missed out on that, or I was too scared, or, you hear your parents' voices in your head, just be careful, and so at some point you got to go, what feels right for me?
Right. And it may not the challenge, as I think that through, or as I kind of work that ahead in my mind, is that you don't know if that's going to feel good for you because you haven't tried it yet.
Right.
So you have to be willing to, at least in some small, like you said, put your toe in the water. Just
put your toe in the water.
Just see. Just what the hell? Just try it.
Yeah.
See what happens.
Absolutely.
So, and that again, see, I think part of I think one of the I don't know what the word is. One of the high points, one of the features, one of the one of the things about this show, this podcast, is going to be, as we continue to have our chats, is going to be those little moments of being able to identify, I could do something different here. Because you have to kind of there has to be something going on in your brain, and you have to be able to recognize that, and you have to be able to say, okay, now I'm going to try something that I haven't tried before. So, and it seems like we're now on episode number 3. It seems like in every show there's been something where we've talked about that moment of awareness.
Yes.
I think there's a spiritual term for it, and I don't remember it off the top of my head, but I'll look it up. So anyway, I love that. So cool. So anyway, like Vicki says, if something has been gnawing at you, or maybe even just tickling your brain a little bit, maybe that's a sign that, you could try something a little different or whatever. Yeah. You and I had a friend, he's gone now. I'm thinking of you, Jerry, who, oh yeah, I know, our old friend Jerry, was in meditation groups with us and reading clubs and all that with us back in Southwest Florida. And it was his opinion that the universe does things to get your attention on a sliding scale.
Oh,
so it's going to start with a little nudge. It's going to start with a little whatever. And then eventually it's the 2x4 across the back of the head to say, hey, Bill, you're not paying attention here.
Yeah, I've had a few of those.
So talk about that. I mean, do you think if it's, I guess the question then, there's a few questions there. Are there things the universe or angels or God, again, we're not playing favorites here. Whatever you choose to think is in charge of this whole operation.
Yeah.
Are there some things that are like either so important for you that that somehow the powers that be, I don't know what that is, again, is going to get your attention one way or another?
Oh, absolutely.
Really?
Oh, yes, the universe can get very creative.
Well, the
I don't
problem
know
is we're
how
not
they
smart
do
enough
it.
to, yeah, the problem is we're not always aware enough to notice the creative. So maybe that's why it requires the 2x4 treatment,
Yeah.
the baseball
Yeah.
bat treatment.
Yeah. So I've learned over the years that when I see a little nudge, I take it before the 2x4 comes.
Hmm.
I've had a few of those in my lifetime. So
Right,
yes, absolutely. And it's all around. And I love anything, the more it's out there, the more I love it.
right,
Because it's like I wouldn't have thought of that. And so when something is so in your face, it's like, okay, this is a big sign. So I
right.
got to on it. It's really getting my attention. But it does. Sometimes it starts real easy and slow and then if I'm talking for me, if I don't pay attention, it gets a little bit, more, heavier, a little bit more in my
Right,
face.
right,
And again, I've had a few 2x4s, really getting attention. So yes.
right, right. And again, it all comes down to the discernment, fancy word,
Mhm.
to be able to
Yes.
say, oh, that I didn't do something. I remember last week, something happened and I thought about it, but I didn't do anything about it. And now here this thing is happening and it's even more.
Right there.
Yeah, I guess then comes the job, the task, the game, whatever you want to call it, of putting the pieces together. Of going,
Yeah.
this was related to this, was related to this, was related to what's happening right now.
Oh yeah, because if you think of it like a puzzle, you got, 500 pieces and you go, oh my gosh, I don't know where everything goes. Well, you start putting this piece together and that piece together, and it's the same thing. And you can take your time on it or just see the bigger picture, right in front of you. But it'll start adding up to, getting your awareness, getting your attention to go, hey, something's right here. There's an opportunity, or there's a gift, or, there's a shift of your perspective. It's right there. So, and all the universe wants to do, and the best of their intention is to get you to love yourself, listen to yourself, trust yourself, believe in yourself, and
Right,
then follow through and
right.
gain
And
the gifts from it.
always it's always the follow through. It's always,
Oh,
it's
yes.
like, oh yeah, sure. Vicki says love yourself and trust yourself. Okay, I'll do that. And then in an hour from now, you're like, oh damn, I'm back to where I was.
Well,
So
and
yeah,
that's part of being human. We all have human moments. I mean, I'm the first one to say, you know what, you're seeing me on a good day.
right, right. I
Yeah.
get it. I do.
And I embrace that and I accept that. I'm a work in progress, like I feel we all are. And so it's what can I learn from this? How can I grow from it? By growing from it, how can I inspire somebody else to do the same and maybe help them bypass some of the steps to getting there by saying, hey, this is what I did. If it's comfortable for you, go ahead and do it. So, but that's what I love to do. And that's why I've said before in our program is that I've gone through so much in my life. If I can save somebody some steps by saying, hey, look at it from this perspective, or, it's time to let something go. I want to help them, to bypass maybe some of the falling down that they have to do to get to standing up.
Right,
So,
right.
that's why I'm so passionate about, my intuitive guidance and doing the oracle card readings, the hypnosis
Mhm.
is, empowering them and helping them to have, a wonderful, healthy, beautiful, loving life.
Right, right.
And
And
everybody deserves that.
well, sure, of course they do. Again, some people may think otherwise, but I
Well,
don't
that's
believe
it.
I don't
And that's
believe
their
you when you
choice.
tell me your life is supposed to be as crappy as it is right now. I don't believe you. I'm sorry. I just choose
Oh,
not to
okay.
believe that. Yeah. So I'm just saying you can do better. So, and again, here we are again. Apparently, this is going to be the theme for today's show, is coming back to that moment where you think to yourself, oh, I don't have to live like this. I don't have to think like this. I don't have to feel like this. I don't, there's nothing carved in stone in this universe except for the pyramids. And they did a pretty good job with that,
Yeah,
but
they did pretty good.
they did a pretty good job. They've been around for a while. So for us humans who have the ability to think and feel, and most importantly, change and grow,
Yes.
doesn't mean the feelings. And again, to go back to what we started this whole conversation with, that you started it with, is that a lot of the stuff that's going on, and I'm pointing like the space between your ears here, there's a lot of the
Yes.
stuff that's going on in your head was given to you when
Yes.
you didn't know better.
Yes. Yeah.
So just because you had it up there in your brain for 20 years, 40 years, 50 years, it doesn't mean that it's the be all end all. It doesn't mean that it's like, this is the final decision. There's no going forward. This is like Final Jeopardy. It's no, you can always, always, always make a different decision.
Definitely.
And it's just up to you. It's just up
Yep.
to you to make that decision.
Yes. And that's it. It's your choice.
Right.
Whatever anybody tells you, you can take it in, yet you have to decide, does it feel right? Does it fit for me? Is it within what, I'm comfortable with? And if it is, great. And if it's not, then just say thank you. I appreciate, what you're saying. I'm moving this way.
Right. Right.
Yeah.
But we're coming up on a break, but I did want to finish this thought with one last thing, and that is something that other people in the spiritual personal development space have mentioned to me, and that is that and now obviously if somebody comes to you as a professional and they're sitting in your chair, you don't have a couch like a psychiatrist or whatever, but if they're in your chair and they're, you're having your conversation on a professional level, they've obviously come to you seeking help. They obviously have something they want to change. Yes. For the rest of us, us amateur guides, us amateur gurus, there's a line there that it's like, I see my friend John really screwing up his life by doing that thing that he's doing. What's your advice? What's your professional advice as to how much I'm going to get in John's face and say, John, you're screwed up your life. Here's what you should be doing, doggone it. Versus, and here's the other part of it that I've heard from other spiritual folk. Oh, they're just learning their lesson. They have to go through it for themselves.
Yeah, lessons are great, but how about the tools that are available for you to learn the lesson with?
Right. So what are you saying? So talk more about that. Yeah.
Well, for me, I don't feel that I'm telling people you have to do this.
Right.
I'm offering them suggestions, different ways of looking at things. Like I keep saying, different perspectives on it. How about stepping out of it and looking at it? Okay, here's the scenario. This is what's going on in your life. What gifts can you find from that? What can you turn that into something that'll inspire you? Or why you're reacting to it in this way? How about if you look at it, disconnect from it, just see it, as, what it is. And again, how can you be inspired by that situation, by that person? What do you think that is going on that maybe you can use to, empower yourself? So instead of being afraid of it, embrace it and go, how can I learn from it? How can I use that tool to move me forward? Because fear is a wonderful way to control somebody.
Oh,
okay. And I've had a lot of fear in my life, and I lived in fear for so long that I started to look at it, go, why am I reacting to the fear? Well, I'm reacting to that person because I'm afraid of them. And I thought, well, what if I stood back and I looked at what is going on with them, that they're carrying so much fear that they have to project it onto me? What is it, they must have like a little person in them that is wounded, that is hurting, is being defensive. So if I look at them as just this little person that, was raised in fear and hurt and anger, what if I looked at them with compassion and with love and with, what can I do to you, for you, so that you can get let go of that fear and embrace all the good that you really do have in you. And I do feel everybody has good within them.
Mm-hmm.
Got to
Sure.
be something because we were raised as children and children are always innocent. So how can we go back to that child and pick out some of the good that and help them to see, okay, maybe you've had this experience and you've been colored by it, but you've got this good part in you. Let's
Right.
put the light on that part.
Right. I
And
love.
that's how I look at it.
I think I
And,
want to
and
talk
a
more about
perfect
that.
example, is my dad. I had to look at my dad from that way.
Right. Right. Want to talk more about that when we come back. I think we're going to take a quick break. As we record this, the week that we are recording this, it is a week after the second installment of the Dune movie has come out. And I know you're not a huge science fiction fan, even though you may or may not be. But yeah, but for those who know their Dune mythology, the young man, the young prince who will be the leader, has that. I used to have this quote on my wall, and I probably
Oh,
still do somewhere, where he is having an experience of learning the lessons of life. And he says, I must not fear. Fear is the mind killer. Fear is
yes.
the little death that brings total obliteration. I will face my fear. I will permit it to pass over me and through me. And when it has gone, I will turn the inner eye to see its path. Where the fear has gone, there will be nothing left. Only I will remain. Ooh,
Wow. Oh,
I love that.
oh,
Yeah, I
that
know,
gives
right?
me chills.
Right? There's that scene in the movie. No matter, Dune has been remade three times, and there's always that scene where that's his moment where he goes, "Oh, I don't have to do this anymore," and that's
Mhm.
exactly what we are talking about here. Not that we are, producing any brand new movies or anything like that. As much fun as that would be, but yeah, that's awesome. That's awesome. All right, we're about halfway through. Let's take a quick break. Go refill your coffee or do whatever you need to do, and we will be right back. Welcome back. This is The Practical Path, a podcast for personal and spiritual growth with Vicki Wagoner and yours truly, Bill Sklodowski. Thanks for joining us. And we've been talking a lot. We're going to continue the conversation, but I did want to mention or give you the opportunity because I know that you are still occasionally taking on new clients and that sort of thing. So if somebody wanted to get in touch with you, what's the best way to do that?
Well, they can email me at vickiwagoner53gmail.com. That's VICKIWAGONER53 at gmail.com. Or my phone number is 239-248-0586, or I'm on Facebook as Vicki Wagner, the Practical Intuitive.
A practical intuitive. How clever of us, of you, of
Yes.
them, whatever. Right. So last week we were doing, I guess maybe that's my job, is to come up with a cool quote every week. Last week I was telling you about this video, this car commercial from Buick that uses a quote from an old philosopher and author, Alan Watts, who talks about if you had the power to control your dreams, and
Mm,
some people do, if you had the power to control your dreams, you would try all the cool stuff you could think of, all the adventures and all the sexy stuff and all the everything stuff. And you would just, every night, you would do that same thing every night, all the time, until you got bored with it. Because eventually you would have tried everything. You would have tried every kind of food, every vacation spot, every sexual partner, you let your mind run wild. But eventually it's going to be like, okay, I've done it all. I've been it all. And eventually you are going to set things up, or you are going to program your mind to dream something unexpected.
yes.
You're going to tell yourself, let's make this a real adventure. Throw me something random, something weird, something cool and different that I would never have thought of myself, so that I can respond to it like a good game. Like any game you play, it's like if you know exactly what's going to happen, it's not much of a game. But I want something different, weird, cool. And he always says, if you do that, eventually you will dream where you are right now.
Oh,
And we both had that moment of like, wow, right.
yeah.
Because this is random. This is weird. This is cool. This is the adventure that I would want for myself if I had that freedom to dream any dream I wanted. And guess what? You do. And here you are.
That's pretty
So
awesome.
I guess our question at this point is, now that you're here in this random, cool, adventuring dream, what are you going to do with it? Where are you at? What's up with that?
Gee,
Right?
whoa,
Right?
that's kind of a mind bender. My little
I
pea brain is
know.
like,
I
what?
know. I But we're here to, little mental exercises here. So there you go. But I mean, and it leads me carefully to what I really wrote down, or I think you wrote down as one of our topics that we wanted to cover. And I'd like to spend the rest of the show doing that, which is living, as the old author Eckhart Tolle used to say, living in the now. Or
Yes.
as I forget who it was, said three simple words: be here now.
Hmm.
Right?
Yeah. Yeah, because that's
Because
what we got.
so many folks, for one reason or another, and I'm sure all of us, and I'm talking you and me and all of our listeners, all of us can think of times where you were either focused on something that happened in the past and you're still living with it now,
Hmm.
or you're thinking of something that might happen in the future and you're worried about that and you're thinking about it now. And no matter which way you go, as some people call that, time travel of the worst kind, you're living the regrets of the past or living the anxiety of the future, that you have nothing going on here now, right
Yeah.
now.
Yeah.
So now, that was a long setup for Bill to ask Vicki, what's our way that we get people, you and me included, to be here now, this moment,
To be present, to
to
be
be
always
present.
present
Yes,
of
exactly.
what is going on right here. Well, how can you enjoy it now? And if you need to, how can you shift it? If something isn't going right, you have the choice to make options of what you want to do with it. So I just think it's being present and being aware. But I'm like a little kid. I always tell people, I'm 71, but I feel like I'm 12. I love all the things that just kind of pop up that get
Mm-hmm.
my attention, that make me go, oh, wow. So especially when I'm out in nature, I'm always open to what cool thing am I going to find? What can inspire me? What can I learn? So I try to be aware of where I am at each moment. And sometimes I get lost in the past or, don't have a great day or something, like I say, I'm human. But
Right,
yet I always look for what's going to catch my attention.
right,
What makes me happy? What makes me feel good? What can I do to, you know, um, be walking down the street and maybe, inspire somebody, or help them or do something. That's just me. And that's what I feel being present is just being open to what's going on around me and,
right,
what fun things I can find or weird things. I like weird things too. So,
right,
and that's like being a kid. Kids are always open to the next adventure. What's happening. And that's why I think they run around so much because they're so full of oh, what's this? And that's how I like to live is, oh, what's this? This is cool. Or how can I learn from it? Or, okay, I learned from it and I'm going to leave it behind, you know.
And that's okay too, by the way. That's okay. I mean, part of the, just to pause on that, part of the experience of life is knowing what works and knowing what doesn't. And
Yes.
and saying, okay, I want more of this and not so much of that when I see it come along again. So yeah.
So how about you?
How about me?
How about
What do I
you
do for, well, ask
being
your question.
present, for being, aware what's going on or opportunities?
Right, right. And I do notice, because I still do a lot of work here at the computer. I'm sitting at my computer now. I know you can't see us, but so I do notice that I'll be sitting here and I'll be like, okay, Bill, you've now been hunched over this darn computer for the last 90 minutes. Maybe you want to get up and, if nothing else, walk outside, because I'm in my nice little, man cave of a 1-bedroom apartment. So I can get up, walk 10 steps and be out the front door or out on my front porch. And just like you said, see what's happening outside, see what's happening in nature, see what's happening, and breathe that air rather than the air conditioned air in here. And yeah, all right, so I'm going to think about that now. So because I know that I need to, I choose. Well, I'm writing that down. That's something we want to talk about, the difference between needs and choices. Remind me of that. I choose, write it down. I choose to be more in the moment. And yet I also, when I'm working, I do want to be mindful of what's my best use of this moment.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, because I can sit and scroll Facebook with the best of them, or YouTube videos with the best of them. And then an hour goes by and it's like, no, now I'm mad at myself because I've done nothing productive. I mean, is, scrolling cat videos on YouTube productive? Probably not.
I don't know. Some people enjoy cats.
Some people enjoy cats. And I laugh at them, but I don't need to own one. So I'm trying to answer your question and I don't have a good answer for it. And that's a sign right there, isn't it? A symbol or whatever. To what is it that because I'm more of like what's my next step? Not tomorrow, not a week from now. In the next 5 minutes, what's my best use of time, or what's my best move, or what's my best decision, or whatever. And sometimes I do it, and a lot of time, not a lot, but I'm batting probably 50-50. Sometimes I do it, sometimes I don't. Sometimes it cheeses me off that I haven't. Sometimes I go to bed at night going, well, there's a day I didn't do squat. And some days I'll go to bed going, oh, good job, Bill. You got a lot done today.
Yes.
Oh, and I just said something that sparked my sparked my memory to say, it's not always about the getting done thing, is it? It's not always like, you don't have to feel like, oh, I got stuff done. Lots of people get stuff done. That doesn't really mean anything in the giant scheme of things. I don't know. You're making me think about it, and that's a good thing. So
that's a good thing.
For everybody else as well, all of our listeners, we hope we're helping you to think about what it is you're doing. And to me, the important part, and I'm good at catching myself with that. I'm really good at catching myself with, oh, I'm thinking about something that happened 10 years ago. Or, oh, I'm thinking about something that might happen. Mm-hmm. Somebody said, and it might have been just a little Facebook, bumper sticker post, where somebody said, those anxieties you have about the future, that's just a conspiracy theory you tell about yourself.
Oh, that's a good one. Yeah.
I know, right? It's like, it's not true. It hasn't happened. You don't know if that's going to happen or not. You have no clue. But yet here you are focused on, oh, I'm going to, in 6 months, this is going to be awful. How the hell do you know? Sorry to swear, but
no, that's okay.
Sorry, not sorry, right? Yeah, I know.
No, sorry, not sorry. No, as I've said before, cursing's my second language.
And yeah, not that I'm encouraging it here, but if it comes out, it comes out. So that again, here we are with it. This is going to be the theme of this program, apparently, is having that moment of awareness or realization or whatever. That's like, oh, I'm thinking about 10 years ago. I'm thinking when my mother died. We've mentioned that before. Yeah. I'm thinking about what happens a month from now. Whereas I'm starting a new relationship. What's going to happen in 6 months? Who knows? Who cares? Well, you might care, but there's nothing you can do about it right now.
You can care about it, but yet to what point is it controlling you?
There you go. Controlling you. That's one of those moments. I'm going to get a bell. I'm going to get a bell and ring it, because that's one of those moments that it's like, can you be aware? I hope you can. And we're here to help you with that. Be aware of those things you're thinking about, deciding, feeling, whatever. Is it controlling you, or are you in control?
A lot of times it's controlling us. I call it the monkey mind.
Right.
Like it just like it's kind of scrambling, and kind of getting your attention. And you get so distracted and you waste so much time. And it's like you're missing out by being present by focusing on the what ifs, and there's going to be what ifs. It's how long do you want to stay in that pool, so to speak, of just swimming around in the what ifs, and you're missing out on being present.
So, yes. So then, well, this is probably a whole nother show for a whole nother day, but that's how do you kind of like in your head, how do you make that decision that it's like, okay, I've thought about this enough. Well, I suspect Miss Vicki might say again, is this serving you? Is this helping you? Is this giving you a benefit, or is it just stealing your time?
Good way to put it. Yes.
Mm-hmm.
So when you step back, that's like stepping back and looking at it. Okay, what's it doing, for me or against me? So that's being in that present moment of, okay, I'm looking at it, I'm making a different change, and I'm going to do, whatever you're going to do.
Right.
But it's that swimming around and, you kind of almost get frozen, or, you stiffen up or you get angry or you get hurt, and it's like, how much time are you wasting on this? Was like, okay, what are you trying to teach me? Why are you trying to get my attention?
And again, is that something, even that, well, you tell me if I'm right or if you have a better idea. Even that frustration, even that anger, even that anxiety of the past or worry about the future or whatever, even that, do you believe even that is teaching you something? And
Absolutely.
if so, I guess the question is what, but that's for you to decide.
I feel it is. It's because it's giving you the opportunity to go, how much time am I wasting on this? How can I shift it so that I can use it to empower myself? So I could put it to rest and I can start moving forward and focusing on all the good things that are in my life versus the things, that kind of, it's like carrying garbage around. Why are you dragging the garbage bag when
Right.
there's a trash can? Dump it. Your hands are free. You're free. Move forward.
Right. Right.
And I, I'm the first one to say, that I have my moments, and I have to go, okay, this is in the past, this happened to you. What did you learn from it? Who are you today because of that? And how, again, which I love to do, how can I use this opportunity to inspire somebody else that I see as maybe struggling with the same thing or something similar,
Right.
Bottom line, we have to be our own best friend. We have to be there for ourselves.
Right. Right.
That's
And
to
that
me.
I think to me, and I'll do my opinion on that, and I want to hear yours. To me, that being your own best friend, I mean, it almost sounds hokey. It almost sounds like Charlie Brown psychology. But at the same time, I think it is important because you are more confident or you have more self-assurance that it's like, no, I'm going to be okay. B, I'm going to figure this out. And C, things are going to be all right in the end somewhere. I don't know how yet.
Right? That's okay because,
and it's okay because stuff happens. Life
stuff
happens
happens.
along the way. And I'll figure it out. I'll figure it out. It may take a day, it may take a week, but I'll figure it out. And I guess the other piece of that is if I need to, I can ask for help and get some help on that as well.
And that's okay. We
right.
all need help sometime. It's okay to say, hey, I'm having a bad day, or it's okay to say, this is happening to me. And to me, that's empowering to say, hey, I need help. I
Right.
need to see things differently. I also feel by being your own best friend and loving yourself, respecting yourself, honoring yourself, you're showing by example what other people can do for themselves. And that energy, because we're all energy, people are going to feel that energy.
Yes.
And hopefully they'll be inspired to go, whoa, why is this person being so confident? Why do they have this big smile on their face? This thing just happened, but they're shining through the whole thing.
Right.
And that just by our actions and by our energy can inspire other people to do the same thing. And
right.
I've seen that happen, when things have happened and yet the person still has a smile on their face and they're picking up the pieces and going, oh, well, we'll just put it back together. And it's like, okay, so why, excuse me, but why am I over here grumping and moaning and bitching about something, and I'm looking at this person, and they, it's worse than I am, and they've got this big smile on their face, and I'm like, okay, well, I must be doing something that I need to be doing what they're doing. And I've seen that,
Oh, sure. We
and
all
I'm
have.
really, and I'm inspired by people that, maybe aren't, don't have, all their body parts or, don't have advantages that I do, but they're still smiling and they find ways to adapt, they find
Right.
ways to make things happen.
Right.
And it
Right.
always, when I see somebody like that, I've gone to open up the door for somebody, that was in a wheelchair and they go, well, thank you, but I could have done that, and it's like, wow, you feel that confident about yourself. And it's like, because I'm trying to think, oh, well, poor them, instead of going, wow,
Right.
look how they're getting around,
Right.
and I've got all my parts and maybe they're, they don't, and they still are doing better than I am. So it's like, how did I just learn from them to look at the bright side, to look at the bigger picture of things?
Right. 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 And it doesn't have to be a physical thing. I mean,
No.
yes, like you said, somebody in a wheelchair. Okay. Okay. Whatever. It doesn't have to be a physical thing. It doesn't have to be a financial. It happens in so many different aspects of
Oh,
life.
absolutely. That was just one example,
Yeah, no, I understand. I'm just saying and again, maybe that's our reminder for today is to be open to getting those messages or upliftment. That's a fancy word to say. If it doesn't matter. I mean, I have this, and I got this line from an old friend of mine, but I use it at the grocery store every time. Is that the checkout lady or guy, or usually it's some either 85-year-old woman or some 16-year-old girl. There's very little in between. But they're pre-programmed that without even looking you in the eye, they're going to go, hi, how you doing today? And I have a big smile and I come right back with my best cheerful, I'm fabulous, just like you.
Oh, see?
And they're going to look up I guarantee you, they're going to look up from that. They're going to, and they may scowl a bit, they may smile. Usually they smile, and it's like, okay, old man, pretty funny, but thanks. It's like, yeah. So I have a moment to give to somebody, and that's all it takes. So yes,
being open to be inspired. And
yeah, go ahead.
it's so much better to be light and happy and inspired than it is to be grumpy and, angry and fearful. So it's just a matter of choice. Which one do you want to be?
Right. And you can be that anywhere, anytime, for anybody in any situation. It does not matter. Anything you are doing to contribute to what's the fancy word? The positive energy of this world. Mm-hmm. Anything, it never goes unnoticed, unaccounted for, whatever. So I guess what we're saying is no matter what good stuff you put out there, keep doing it because it helps. It all helps.
And you got to think, you're putting it out there. What happens? It comes back to you. So It's a gift that just keeps going around and around and around. So it's a wonderful thing.
A gift that keeps on giving, as they used to say. Yes.
Yes, it's a gift that keeps on giving.
I remember when I lived in Fort Myers. I used to get my gas at the local Costco. There was a Costco warehouse club there, and there was back in the day, and they still do. They have an attendant. They have somebody who works the gas pumps. He doesn't pump gas, but he's there if somebody needs help.
Right.
And there was an older, I don't know if he was Cuban or Hispanic or something. It doesn't matter. And I swear to God, this man was a sage. He was an angel, something, a guru, yes, or whatever. And he wore coveralls and a baseball cap. But whenever you got there, he was out there to smile and say, hi, how's it going? And look at this beautiful day. And every time he was like that. And I would drive away from the Costco gas station going, oh my God, this guy is a hero. So, it's like amazing.
Yes. So
anyway, I guess the point is you can do that. Anybody can do that. You can be that, and you can also receive that from other people. So just be aware.
Absolutely. Yeah. So think of if we did that more people would be inspired, more people would be sharing it, and more is going to be coming back to you. So absolutely. Yeah.
Right. And we said it
What'd
now
you say?
45 minutes ago. We said what goes around comes around, which
I
is
was
always
just going
true.
to tell you that. I can't, you're in my head again.
Ah, there you go. It happens all the time. You too. So yeah, but yes. So I don't think I have any homework for us this week, but that's okay. I hope
Okay.
you all got to watch the videos we mentioned and all that. But I think to kind of start to wrap things up is we want to make sure, or again, we're not here to tell you what to do, but perhaps offer some suggestions
Mhm.
of
Absolutely.
be here now, of
Yes.
you're in this moment, you
Mhm.
are responding and even creating right here right now, without worry about what might have happened in the past and without anxiety about what might happen in the future, because now you're dividing your time, you're not wasting, you're giving energy away, your consciousness, your mind. You're like a computer. You're like a computer with 40 different programs open and 20 different tabs open on your browser and all that. The computer is going to go, oh, we can't do anymore. It's where you got us maxed out here. And that's what happens in our little human brains too.
Oh,
And
yeah.
we don't get 20 different programs at once. We get
Oh,
two or
no.
three, and that's about it.
Yeah. And that's on a
So
good day.
that's on a good day. It's on a good day. Right. And I'm holding up my coffee cup. That's caffeine powered too. That's not, that's not
And
normal.
think of it. Here we are laughing. Laughing is one of the best medicines in the world. It really
Absolutely.
is.
Absolutely.
I, I love laughing.
And
And
I'm writing that down for a future show.
yeah, laughter. And you and, BJ for years and years, going back to you guys, waking up in the morning to these two handsome guys.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
That your program started my day, and it set the platform for it. And it was that love and that laughter and that commitment and just being yourselves. And I love people that show up authentic. And I love when they're being themselves. I'm okay with them being angry. I'm okay if they're sad, just being authentic, and
Right.
showing up as here
Right.
we are. And I hope that I do that. This is me. And I think that's why people feel safe with me, is because here I am. I never proclaim to have all the answers. What I do proclaim is that I'm going to support you, I'm going to encourage you, and I'm going to help you to find the best of yourselves.
Right. Right. So there's your homework for the week, folks. Go out and be authentic, unless you're
Yes.
grumpy. Don't be authentically grumpy.
Oh, well,
Find a way to inject some humor, some love, some cheerfulness, something, some sunshine into somebody. And I mean that everybody goes, oh yeah, a little sunshine up your butt. It's a cliche, but I guess it's a cliche for a reason. It's because it's like that's important.
absolutely.
It's valuable.
It is valuable, and it's inspiring. So as you inspire someone else, that energy is going to come back to you. So as you give a gift, the gift comes back. And that's
That's a great place to leave that. Yes, give some gifts that cost nothing. Costs
nothing.
nothing to smile at somebody. Costs nothing to say something nice to somebody. You know,
But
everybody's doing their own thing out there, and we don't know where they're at. But if you can add
yes,
some positive juice to it, it's going to be better.
it's going to be so much better, and that gets spread around. So that's one of the greatest gifts we can give, is being authentic and sharing.
Awesome. I love
Oh,
that. Thank
so
you.
much fun.
That's great. That's awesome. All right. So that's going to do it for this week. Remember, if you're enjoying it, please feel free to, wherever you're hearing this, Apple Podcasts, Spotify, whatever, be sure to leave a nice review. We'd appreciate that. And we're still in the process of setting everything up. So as I record this now, I can't tell you where to find us just yet, but I will. And you'll see it once it hits the airwaves. So that's all good. But
So if I
that's going
could
to do
say,
it. Vicki Wagoner, thank you so much. Oh, go ahead. What?
well, I was just going to say, if they want to get in touch with you,
Right. Well, I'm on Facebook. I mean, you can find me on, not hard, Bill Sklodowski on Facebook, and I won't spell it, but if you try, it's in Florida, so you'll find me. Yeah, we'll have contact information and all of that on the podcast when the time comes. So there's still some things going on in the back office that we're still, sorting out just yet, but What we're not sorting out is the fact that we will be back again next week, and we thank you for being here. Vicki, thank you again.
Thank you.